Welcome to the MLMsuccess.com podcast, the show designed to return the network marketing industry to its roots of personal growth, leadership development, and wisdom of the ages success principles. We share with you real success stories from real people that we hope will inspire and encourage you personally and help you progress forward in your business and your life. We believe if you build people, people will build the business. Now here is your host, who has been called the number one mind in network marketing, the MLM prophet, network marketing virtual mentor, and a host of other names that we will not mention because this is a family show. Frankly, he's just a small town guy that figured out that the real product in network marketing is people. Dale Calvert.
Hi, this is Brandon, the podcast producer for the MLM Success Training Podcast. Today, you'll listen to the conclusion of finding and recruiting the right people on your network marketing team. Enjoy.
You know, in this business, you got 3%ers, 27%ers, and 70%ers. And if you have to build it with just the 3%ers, it's a tough way to try to build it. I realized early when I was listening to those audios that the way to do this is to develop those 27%ers. Now, how do you develop those 27%ers? With very unified franchise approach. This is how we launch it. This is how we create customers. This is our retail to recruit system. This is our two-step recruiting process. This is our retention system. Now, those are the 4 core systems. Now, 5, drive as many leads through this as you can to find those 27%ers that you can build and develop. I believe that's the right way to do it. Granted, all the systems in the world won't help people that don't have a strong work ethic. That's just a given. And I don't feel like we should talk about it, but maybe it is something that people need to understand. This takes a lot of work. And network marketing is the most challenging business model in the world. If you can build a network marketing team, you can do anything. But network marketing is also the most rewarding business model in the world. Most rewarding. All right. And again, I would encourage you guys to listen to these stories I have, but I'm going to go through. But this guy right here was a football coach, school teacher, went through McDonald's, didn't have enough money to buy his child McNuggets, and said, no more. Never again. I met him, I think it was either Memphis or Birmingham. We were doing like this 16-city tour. And as the first time I met him, I think it was either Memphis or Birmingham. The next weekend, I was in Atlanta. And we're getting ready to start this event. And this kid, about 26, 27 at the time, that I met in either Memphis or Birmingham, he's coming through the door. And I'm thinking, hey, how you doing? I thought you lived in Alabama. He said, I did, but I wanted to come and see this again. Okay. He went on to become one of the best students, leaders I've ever worked with. But here's what I want you to know. When he came to Atlanta for the event, his dad bought him an airplane ticket because he felt like he needed to be there, but he had no money for the hotel. He got to the hotel at like 2 or 3 in the morning, found an empty conference room, slept under the table, got up before the security guard found him sleeping under the table at about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. He went in the bathroom, cleaned himself up, and came to the event in Atlanta. I didn't know that till years later. David filed bankruptcy the day he joined. Some of you have heard Sue. Sue was very frustrated and not just with her profession, but several things in her life. And it was like worked as hard as she could work. You know, was working a day job and going from 7 to 2 in the morning or whatever it took to get where she got. So work ethic is a given. Carol Ely, here's my point, guys. Work with people that want it bad. Okay, these people, and again, I could tell you story after story of people, and what did they have? They wanted it bad. Carol down here, she enrolled. I did a meeting 2 hours from me. She was the only one that showed up. I did the presentation. She joined that night, and I was doing it for somebody else. At the time, we had an office in Lexington, Kentucky, and I guess I had mentioned that I'd like for her to come sometime to one of our events in Lexington because we pack it out every Monday. She showed up. I couldn't even remember her name because, again, she sponsored with this guy that was 8 levels below me. But she showed up. During the announcements that Monday, we announced that we were going as a group to an event in Cincinnati, Ohio. So what we would do back then is we would all meet for breakfast, and then we would carpool just, a caravan up to wherever the event was in Cincinnati or Columbus or Indianapolis, wherever, within driving distance. So that's what we did. We've done that many times. We did it then. Well, we're all sitting there, and I look up, and this lady walks through. She had come on her own to Cincinnati. Okay. I knew right then that's somebody I have to spend time with. This guy hitchhiked to one of his first ever events. This lady was on government assistance, broker than a church mouse, 2 kids on disability. She came up to me after the first event. She said, "You tell me why I should give you $250 to join this." And I said, "You absolutely shouldn't. You shouldn't join." "Well, why shouldn't I?" "You shouldn't join. If after you've seen what you've seen here tonight," is what I'm telling her, talking to her, "and you don't see something for you, then don't join. That's fine. I'm not going to try to convince you." She joined because of the support of that organization, went on to make 6 figures. And again, I could tell you so many stories, guys, but the thing that I'm trying to communicate, this business is fun when you're working with the right people that want it bad. It's fun. Most people never get there because they're too busy spending way too much time trying to keep the 3 or 4 or 7 people they have motivated. You become the leader. You set the example. You talk the talk. You be bold. And go out there and find, there's people that are out there. They're out there, but they're not looking for the typical distributor that they've run into over the last 15 years that's trying to convince them to buy, sell, or join. What they're looking for, leadership. Leadership is the highest paid profession in the world. And all you have to be is the best leader you can be and keep getting better and keep working at it. And you're going to have some really more talented people than I had more talented people than I'll ever fall in under my organization over the years, because the vision was always there. Everything, it was there, the conviction. So I just feel like there's a lot of people that have gotten away from the reality of this business, and that is leadership moves products. Leadership. It's all about leadership. You're in the leadership development business. Remind me some week I'm going to tell you about Tom Bird. A couple more things, I'm going to be done. Decide to be the best leader you could be. That's and again, guys, don't anything that you're thinking about that's not about leadership and recruiting leaders, it's a waste of time long term. It's a waste of time. And I understand it's everywhere in the profession, but it's just a waste. Some of you are waiting for this to be re-released, the Confessions program. Those of you that were on the waiting list should have received an email today. If you're brand new on this webinar tonight, I want to at least make you aware of it, because usually people say, well, Dale, this whole leadership development philosophy, is that really, could that really happen? Can you really build unified teams like a franchise? Is that just theory, or is that practical? And I get this all the time. When people contact me about one-on-one coaching, or corporate clients about working corporately, putting together training programs, the first thing I always used to do was send them Confessions. And I would say, watch it, and you're going to see right in front of you in the audience, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to see it at a level that you've never seen it. So long story short, we've been working on this. We've added like 10 hours of training to the original Confessions of a Network Marketing Millionaire training. It is up. It's available, confessions.com. Now, and I'm just mentioning this, those of you that already know about it, you know it was coming, write this down, because until Monday, it's a $200 discount. Until Monday. tinyurl.com/M, the numeral 6, DKLR, the numeral 2. I'm taking it down, so if you have any, and if you go directly, that will take you directly to the order page. And when you get there, it's going to say $297. If you type in right here, Confessions 2, the numeral 2, all caps, hit apply, you'll see the $297. It'll go to $97, and that's until Monday only. Monday only. And then it's gone. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you weren't on that list, you've never heard of Confessions, the Confessions program, you can just go to MLMconfessions.com, and you can hear the whole story if you choose to. But it really reiterates what I'm talking about tonight. Okay, I'm done. I will answer some questions. Let me get the screens switch back over and see what questions we have. The thing that I'm just trying to really communicate to you guys tonight, you have more leadership ability, most people do, than they can ever imagine. And it's okay to talk the talk about what you're doing, where you're going, as long as you're willing to do the activities and put the work behind it. Because if you will, and you'll focus on the only the 5 core fundamentals and getting as good as you can become there, not shortcutting anything, you can own the profession right now. Own it. Because people are really looking for leadership that makes sense. And I'm going to see what questions we have. I'll answer a few, and then we'll be done tonight. Okay. 4 votes from Ray Lee Ferris. Thank you, Ray Lee. Ray Lee said, hi, Dale. I'm new to MLM and fired up. I've nearly completed your first year in network marketing class. I built a small team. Congratulations. And I'm eager to lead. Awesome. Here's my question. There's a lot of buzz about generating cold contacts, funnels, utilizing social media, automation, such as Aweber, Lead Friend, etc. Will these leads actually come to fruition, or am I better focusing on relationship building? It's a good question. There's a lot of webinars that I could send you to, but I'm going to suggest again that the podcast that I mentioned earlier, if you go to MLMsuccess.com, and it's how to launch your business. I believe there's a time and place. I believe in the concept called play one, play two, which incorporates autoresponders and all that. I believe you should send people online to hear the whole story. This is pretty a complex question, really. There's a lot to this. I have covered it all in about 3 or 4 different webinars. I'm trying to figure out how to simplify the never buy leads under any circumstances. If somebody leaves their information on a lead capture page, then the next play is to let them hear the entire story. Will these leads to come to fruition? They could be. All any of us are doing is looking for the right people at the right time in their life. That's all you're looking for. So the more people you expose, the quicker and the faster it's going to happen. It's all numbers. The name of the game is sorting through people. Amateurs try to convince people. Professionals sort. And certainly lead capture pages are the greatest, they're a great sorting tool. I hope that answered your question. What's your opinion on people recruiting large numbers per month, say 20 people? Is it possible to give these people enough time to properly train, or is it even ethical to jam them through? Thanks, Dale. I know there's a popular training out there called how to recruit 20 people in 30 days or some ridiculous something. And I know the person that did it probably never had 20 people in their entire life. And it's not about how many. And if you can recruit 20, recruit 20. Here's why. Because as soon as you recruit the first one, every person that you recruit, then you're going to throw them the ball. Okay, you give them an assignment. It's this back and forth relationship is how you develop people and bring them down the road. It's back and forth. That's what leaders do. They direct. So those of you who are in the training club, you know, first thing, 20 reasons, top 3, 50 names to practice with. Now, here's the truth. Half of the people will never throw the first ball back. So you're 20, now you got 10 potential. And all you're doing is eliminating people. Because if you find 3 people a year that you can run with in 3 years, not next month, 3 years, you're a superstar. That's the game. That's the real game. That's how you really win. It's not going out here and just sponsoring a bunch of people. And again, I would sponsor all that I can as long as you understand it's not just about getting them in. That has nothing to do with it. It's about keeping them in and helping them move forward through the comp plan. That's the game. That's how you win. Okay, the next question. This may be covered tonight, but how can we as recruiters tell when we're talking with a 27%er instead of a 70%er or even a 3%er? And is there a better method for marketing to find the 27%ers? There's no way that I'm aware of that's better than another for finding 27%ers. I wish there was. You can do some targeted direct mail. I talk about that. Where do I talk about that? In one of the courses where you can actually find mailing lists and there's some targeting that you can do if you're investing and spending money on advertising through direct mail and also through Facebook that kind of helps you kind of get to the 27%ers. Here's what I would say about this. If you ever had the opportunity to target people, and this came from Art Williams, he said your ideal prospect is 25 to 35, 25 to 35 years old, married, has a home, hasn't made it yet, but wants to real bad. I'll never forget that. So when we were doing direct mail, we were targeting subdivisions where young couples, young families lived. So again, I could go into more details on that, but hopefully that gives you a mindset and a path to be thinking about. Okay. I hope that helped, Alan. Trudy. I'm advertising on Craigslist, sending out postcards, drop cards, have many billboards ready to be placed, and walking around with a pen on my purse. I'm going to be putting an ad in the back window of my vehicle. Am I missing anything? That's 7, 6, 7, 8 things that you're doing. That's awesome. That's truly, that's more than most people will ever even think about doing. But there's I mean, that's kind of the foundation, but there's funded proposals, there's direct mail, there's postcards, there's direct mail pieces, there's door hangers. I'm trying to think of what you have. I mean, there's a lot more ways to generate leads, a lot more. And the more leads you have coming through the process, the better off you're going to be. And so there's a lot more. I like Safe List. Go to MLMhelp.com, type in Safe List, SAFE list. You can do that every 3 days. Boom, boom, boom. There's a lot more ways. I think the local MLM leads program it should be re-released. I'm running behind on that, but it's coming. And we'll talk about other ways, Trudy, other ways. I mean, you can add more, but it sounds like you're doing a lot already. I mean, awful lot. Thanks for the great webinar, Levy Trains. I'm ready. I already remember the training club. Is confessions program something I should also obtain? Norm, here's what confessions does. Ultimately, what confessions does. When you see confessions and you see the crowd response, you understand what it's like at a level that you can only understand by seeing it, and you understand kind of where you're going as you're putting together your franchise for your team. The people that, when we first introduced that, it's about 20 years ago, and the people that saw that and then applied that philosophy around building their system for their team are countless number of people, countless number. And so I personally think that the DVD should be part of every career-minded network marketer's training in their library. And you can get just the DVDs, I think, on Amazon still. But what we've done now with this Confessions 2.0 is we've added a whole lot more training and a lot of the webinars and stuff that we've done in the last year and a half that support this whole concept of you teaching somebody how to teach somebody how to teach somebody. And we've really put as much support material back there for creating unified, duplicatable systems as we possibly can. So, I mean, I hope that answered your question. Can you please repeat how to get confessions? All right, let me try to pull this up. Oh, did I give the wrong code in the web on the screen on the webinar pages? Oh, I did. No, who said that? I did not. Whoever said that, that's not right. Confessions 2. TWO. Is that what you're talking about, Don? Did somebody say Confessions 2 did not deduct the $200? Guys, if it doesn't deduct it, we'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. But again, that's just this weekend because I don't want to have to mess with this. I really don't. It's not. I told people it would be ready. It's ready. The ones that have been waiting on it, I want to give a discount. That's kind of where I'm at with it. So I've confused myself, and I'm trying to read text and do everything else at the same time. So, guys, we'll take care of it. My understanding is, if you go to MLMconfessions.com, if you go directly to, and let me give you this, you can write it down. If you go directly to, and I'm looking at it and I can't pull it up. If you go directly to http:// tinyurl.com /M, the numeral 6, DK, I just type this in, DKLR2. If you go there, it'll take you directly to the checkout page. And on the checkout page, if you enter the code Confessions 2, TWO, and hit apply, it'll deduct $200 until Monday. So I hope that helps. Can you please repeat how to get Confessions? If you don't know anything about it, it's www. See, some people have been waiting on it, and that's why I wanted to mention that. But if you don't know anything about it, if you're new, MLMconfessions.com, and then it's Confessions 2 on the checkout, and it'll do the deduction until Monday. Okay, any other questions, guys, before I get off here? We're good? We're good. I look forward to seeing some of you guys in Detroit this weekend. I have a company-sponsored event there. Look forward to that. Honestly, I haven't looked much beyond that. Kentucky plays UCLA tomorrow night in the Sweet 16. Please root the University of Kentucky on. We've got through the first round. We're in the Sweet 16. We have to beat UCLA. Then we'll have to beat North Carolina to get to the Final Four because of our draw. But I'm believing that they're going to have an awesome game tomorrow night. So please root on my Kentucky Wildcats. I would greatly appreciate that. If you have questions, guys, that came up because of tonight, you can go to MLMhelp.com, and then in the top left-hand corner, there's an Ask Dale button, and you can record your question there. Last thing I want to leave you with tonight. You're in the leadership development business. Your long-term income is in direct proportion to the number of leaders that you develop on your team. Stop reading books on herbs and vitamins and chemicals in cleaning products and chemicals in skincare items, and start reading books on leadership. Leadership is the highest paid profession in the world. Leadership. You're in the leadership development business. The upside potential. I want to share one other thing with you before I let you go. I was just sitting up here looking. Can y'all see that? It's called the Leadership Development Philosophy. I don't even know what year this system was done. I'm going to say 95. Truth is truth. I wasn't planning on showing you this. Guys, this is what it's about. It's about leadership. It's about developing people. It's not about, anything other than that. If you want to be in direct sales, sell yachts. I do want to show you this. I'm going to leave you with this story. I almost forgot too. October 19, it's actually September 1980, about 3:00 in the morning. I'm asleep, and I had moved back home at the time. I was back home with my parents. I was in the basement, and there's a tap, 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 tap on my window in my bedroom in the basement, and it's a friend of mine. So I get up, go outside. I said, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" About 2 or 3 weeks prior to that, I told him that I have got to get out of IBM. I'm not fit to work for somebody else. And my relatives and my friends, everybody said, "Dale, you got it made. You're at IBM. It's the best company in the world. Great benefits, great all this. Stay there, work hard, keep your nose clean. Great things are going to happen for you." And I couldn't stand it. And I told him that I was sending away for different business opportunity packages. I was buying the magazines at the bookstore, the home business stuff, and I was sending away for all this stuff, just trying to figure out some kind of business I could start so I could get out of that environment. And he knew that, so he said, "Dale, I just got involved in a business, and here's a cassette tape. You have to listen to it." And he handed me a cassette tape. And I said, "All right, cool. I'll call you." And I got up the next day and I went to work and I put that tape in on the way to work. And it was so fascinating that I was late going into work because I wanted to hear the rest of the cassette. It's fabulous. So I get home from work and I call my friend and I said, "You said there's a meeting somewhere that I can go to learn more about this. Where's the meeting at?" I'll go. He said, "Well, okay, I'll have to find out about it," because his girlfriend had sponsored him. So his girlfriend was going to tell us where the meeting is. Well, I kept calling him. "Where's this meeting? I want to go to the meeting." He said, "Well, Dale, I forgot to ask her. I'll find out." I'm chasing him down for over a week, just trying to get more information, begging to how can I learn more about this? And it was like 2 weeks after that, in October, when they were finally going to do a meeting. And I went, and there was like 8 people there, and there was 3 on the front row, and I was one of the 3. And when it was over, the big shot that was doing the meeting, he looks at this tall, skinny, very well-dressed guy. And I remember it was like him, this business lady, and me. And I had on a sweatsuit, and I had long hair at the time, and I'm just a kid. I'm 20 years old. And he looks at the man, and he's saying, and he said, "Well, did you see an opportunity here? This is when it's over." And he said, "Blah blah blah blah. I got to ask my wife. Ask my wife. Ask my wife. I go blah blah blah. Ask my wife. Ask my wife." And I'm thinking, okay, well, because he was going to pick him, because I'm wanting him to pick me. I want to do this. And then he turns and he's looking at me, and he asks the lady. He says, "Do you how did you feel about what you saw? Did you like what you saw?" And she's going off about how important she is and how much time she doesn't have, and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And he said, okay. And then he looked at me, and he kind of crossed his arms, and he said, "What'd you think about it?" Like, I said, "I see it. I want to do it." And then he said, "It costs $300 to get started, and I bet you don't have $300, do you?" And I said, "No, I don't, but I can get it." And I got started, And my point being this, guys, I had to run down my sponsor. I had to almost beg to get involved after I actually saw the compensation plan. Okay, Brad Bradford slept on the floor in the hotel. Carol came to Lexington, drove 2 hours on a Monday when I wasn't an expector, and then the next weekend she's showing up in Cincinnati. David filed bankruptcy and then hitchhiked to his first event. Guys, I could go on and on, but here's what I wanted to show you. The cassette tape that my friend gave me that night, there it is. Original tape. J.K. Baker, Master in 18 Months, Jim Burke Tells How. And the date on it this was recorded April 1978. There's the date right there on this audio. This is the audio that brought me in the business. I found it I got a warehouse full of stuff here. And I found this. I'm going to frame it. I was ready to roll. I was ready to do something. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I didn't want to build somebody else's dream. That's the people you're looking for. And, I went out, did what everybody else did. Convinced everybody, tried to convince people to buy and join and all that. I did all that for 3 years. Most frustrating business I've ever been involved in. Just frustrating. And when I really decided, hey, I'm looking for people that want it and want it bad, that I can run with and have fun with, that want to enjoy it, and not people that I have to constantly keep motivated. And once you have that shift, and you understand it's not about finding followers, it's about developing leaders, great things will happen for you. Great things will happen for you. Appreciate you guys. Y'all have a great evening. I will be back in a week or two. Brood on the Wildcats. Thanks for being here tonight. Good night. God bless. Talk to you soon.
We hope you enjoyed part 2 of finding and recruiting the right people on your network marketing team. Come back next week for another episode of MLM Success Podcast.
If you haven't gone over to iTunes yet and rated and left this podcast a review, what are you waiting for? At Calvert Marketing Group, we want to spend our time on the projects that we know are providing the most value for our clients and customers. You leaving us a review and feedback on iTunes is something that helps us more than you realize. And more importantly, it helps others like you find us. So if you've not taken the time to rate this podcast, please go over to iTunes and do that for us now. It will only take a couple of minutes out of your busy schedule. Work harder on yourself than you do on your business, and we will be back next week with another inspiring success story, wisdom of the ages training, or answers to your questions.